Okay, let's dive into this explainer. If you're anything like the professionals we're looking at today, you've probably felt it, right? That absolute crushing weight of professional burnout and a to-do list that literally never ends. Well, today we're unpacking a fascinating session that's designed to take you from a state of chronic stress to one of actual sustainable smiles. We are going to completely rethink how we approach our days, our energy, and those overwhelming obligations that keep us up at night. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the stress capacity table, move right into a personal energy audit, explore the power of mindfulness, break down the 80-20 productivity rule, master the rule of three, and finally, learn how to turn that stress right back into strength. Section 1. The stress capacity table, understanding our internal load limits. So I want you to really ask yourself, is your stress an external attack, or is it actually an internal capacity limit? The facilitator in our source material tells this remarkably relatable story about working in the corporate insurance sector. The environment was notoriously called a pressure cooker. He said he felt like his head was literally a potato trapped inside a pressure cooker, surviving on a diet of 10 cups of coffee and 10 cigarettes a day just to cope. It totally felt like an external attack. But as we'll see, the real issue is often about what our internal limits can actually handle. And this brilliantly illustrates the core concept, the table metaphor. Imagine your ability to handle stress is a physical table. If that table has a structural weight-bearing capacity of 100 kilograms, and you place a 100-kilogram block of stress on it, boom, you achieve balance. The table holds. But what happens if you take that exact same 100-kilogram capacity table and drop 500 kilograms of external stress right on top of it? Complete collapse. The stress isn't just about the weight of the load, it's about the structural integrity of your internal table. The goal isn't necessarily to remove all the weight from the world, it's to build a stronger table. Section 2. The personal energy audit. How to build your internal capacity. Here is a foundational principle from the session, and it's absolutely crucial to remember. Stress and energy are inversely proportional. It's incredibly simple but profoundly true. When your energy is high, your stress is automatically lower. When your energy plummets, your stress skyrockets. This means that proactively building your internal energy isn't just some fluffy wellness buzzword, it is literally your first line of defense against burnout. So, how exactly do we build that energy up? Well, we do an audit across 4 distinct dimensions: physical health, intellectual or mental focus, emotional balance, and spiritual connection. In the session, participants evaluated these areas and realized exactly where their structural integrity was leaking. For some of them, it meant recognizing they needed better sleep patterns, or maybe just getting outside for a simple daily walk to boost that physical capacity. For others, it was all about emotional boundaries, stopping that cycle of overthinking past events that were secretly draining their mental reserves. Now, deep lifestyle changes are necessary, for sure, but there are also quick energizers you can deploy on the fly. The source material highlights incredibly simple hacks. Taking a 1-minute deep breathing break with your eyes wide open while you wait for an elevator or sitting at a traffic signal, stretching your body, drinking water, even just forcing a smile. These tiny, micro moments of recovery immediately boost your energy and reinforce the legs of your table throughout the whole day. Section 3. The power of mindfulness, rebuilding your energy. This is honestly perhaps the most powerful tool discussed in this session for instantly rebuilding your internal energy and relieving mental pressure. The facilitator walks the participants through a 20-minute body scan meditation, which we can distill into a highly actionable sequence. First, you just sit or lie down and focus purely on your breath, feeling your stomach expand like a balloon. Then, you slowly shift your attention to your feet and gradually scan up through your legs, your chest, your shoulders, and right into your head. The real key here is step 3. Notice sensations without judgment. Finally, you expand your awareness to your entire body. The participants reported an immediate, massive shift, feeling completely decluttered, mentally soothed, and suddenly entirely removed from their highly distracted, stressful worlds. So the crucial point is this: you have to observe your body without attaching a narrative to it. If you notice tension in your neck or a lingering thought about a stressful meeting, simply notice it. Don't judge it as good or bad. Acknowledge that no sensation is permanent. As the participants discovered, when you stop attaching a story to the pain or the stiffness, the tension quite literally rolls right off your shoulders. Section 4. The 80-20 productivity rule, lightening the load. We've really got to completely shatter a very common myth, the idea that busyness is directly proportional to productivity. Society has basically trained us to believe that if we're working 1 million hours a day, furiously checking off low-value tasks, we're being highly productive. But the reality revealed in the source material, that false busyness is exactly what is draining our energy and breaking our capacity tables. Now, what's really interesting about this is the Pareto principle in action. The 80-20 rule dictates that roughly 80% of your meaningful results will come from just 20% of your vital efforts. A tiny, tiny fraction of what you actually do moves the needle. By identifying and focusing fiercely on those high-impact areas, you drastically reduce the heavy load on your stress table. Section 5. Mastering the Rule of 3. Cutting down task stress. To actually apply that 80-20 rule, you map out your actions using a timeline limited to just 3 items. What are your top 3 high-impact tasks for the next 24 hours? What are your top 3 for the next week? And what are your top 3 for the entire month? During the session, participants use this to immediately filter out the noise. For one person, it meant committing to a gym session, doing a meditation, and filming one video for social media. For another, it was finally booking a long overdue ticket. It completely forces you to isolate the vital few from the trivial many.
But the most profound benefit of the Rule of 3 isn't even just getting things done. It's the psychological relief. That never-ending to-do list is a massive energy drain. It leaves you constantly feeling like you're falling behind. By committing to just 3 vital tasks a day and actually completing them, you kill that guilt. You grant yourself a real sense of empowerment, fulfillment, and completion, entirely removing the heavy, invisible burden of the unfinished.
Section 6. Turning stress into strength, where capacity meets load. The facilitator shared this classic story called Acres of Diamonds. It's about a farmer who sold his farm and traveled the entire world, desperately searching for diamonds, only to die penniless. Meanwhile, the guy who bought his farm, he discovered that the land was sitting right on top of one of the largest diamond mines in history. The farmer had been standing on acres of diamonds all along. The message here is clear. Stop running all over the place looking for external solutions. Go deep rather than wide. The tools for peace, energy, and productivity are already right under your feet. And how do we actually mine those diamonds? We transform our reality by applying the key takeaways that participants committed to. You consciously choose to control only the controllables. You actively stop overthinking past events that disturb your sleep and drain your mental energy. You practice daily gratitude to build emotional strength, and you fiercely focus on the vital few tasks rather than the trivial many. The moment you implement these practices, the crushing weight on your table begins to lift. I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful reframing quote from the session's conclusion. Stress is what life is trying to communicate to you. Stress isn't this enemy that you need to fight or run away from. It's simply a signal. It's an internal alarm bell telling you that your capacity table is getting weak or your load is getting way too heavy with low-value tasks. It's an invitation to pause, build up your energy, and cut out the noise. So, we're concluding this explainer with a direct challenge for you. What are your top 3 tasks for tomorrow? Not 30 tasks, just 3. Take back control of your day. Start building your internal energy capacity and watch as you transition from a life of chronic stress to one of genuine smiles. Thank you for learning with us today.